Hello all, my name is Krish Naik and welcome to my YouTube channel. So finally, here is the LangChain series, and this is probably the first video where I'm probably going to discuss a very good one-shot video about LangChain, all the important components that you specifically need to know to build projects. Now, why I'm stressing on LangChain is that because many people recently, some of my students and some of experienced professionals who switched into data science industry, they are getting work that are related to large language models, and they're specifically using LangChain, and the community with respect to LangChain is also increasing. So that is the reason I've created this dedicated playlist, and I'm going to discuss a lot many things. This video, we will understand all the important components with LangChain, what you specifically need to know with respect to the practical orientation. And from the next video onwards, lot of end-to-end projects are probably going to come up. In this video also, I'll discuss about one Q&A project, Chatbot in short. We'll try to use Streamlit. It's not like we only have to use Streamlit. You can also use Flask. You can use anything as you want, right? But Streamlit, it provides you a good UI. You can also use Gradio if you want, right? It is up to you. So what all things we are specifically going to discuss? First of all, we'll try to understand the agenda, and then we will try to do step by step. Each and every line of code will be done. And as I said, this is just like a kind of LangChain one-shot video. Just to give you an example that how we are probably going to create our end-to-end application after we deploy that in a specific cloud like Huggingface, right? It provides you entire environment to probably host your application. This is what we are going to create this chatbot. See, if I probably ask what is the capital of India, then you'll be able to see that I'll be able to get the answer. What is the capital of Australia? Many people get confused with the capital of Australia. Please do comment down in the comment section what is the capital of Australia, and let's see whether it is right or not. So here you can see the capital of Australia is Canberra. So we are going to create this application at the end of the day. But before that, we really need to understand a lot of important components in LangChain. So let's go ahead and let's start this particular session. Before I go ahead, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, press the bell notification icon, and share with many friends so that it will also be helpful for them, and it will also be helpful for me so that you are able to provide this open source content to everyone out there. Many people require help, and you should be the medium to provide this specific help by just sharing it, right? So what is the agenda? We'll understand. As I said, this will be a practical oriented video. It'll be a long video where I'll be talking more about practical things, how you can implement LangChain, how you can probably implement various important functionalities in LangChain and use it probably to build an end-to-end application. So first of all, we'll go ahead and do the environment setup. This is commonly required. You also require an OpenAI key, API key. So this also, I will show you how it is done. Then we'll try to build simple applications with the help of LLMs. Three important things are there: LLMs, prompt templates, and output parser. Okay. In LLMs, you specifically have LLMs and chat models. Chat models are basically used in chatbot to understand the context, reference, and all, right? I will also be discussing this practical. Prompt templates can play a very important role. And then coming to the third one, that is called as output parser. In short, prompt template and LLMs and output parser gives a very good combination of output. Like it'll give you a good output, the output like you specifically want, right? So that is where output parsers will also be used. Before to go ahead with what I will do is that, first of all, just go to the OpenAI website itself and get your API key. How you should get it, just go to this account and there you'll be able to see view API key and create the new secret key. Right? So once you create it, give the key name and then copy it and keep it, right? I'm not going to share mine. So that is the reason why I'm showing you this specific step. Now I will go to my VS Code. All my coding will be done in this VS Code itself. Here you can see it is completely blank, right? I've just opened a folder in the form of a project. Now all you have to do is start your project over here. Now the first thing, as usual, what we need to do, we need to create a new environment, right? So this is the first step that you specifically need to create with respect to an environment. So don't miss this specific step. It is important, and probably whatever projects that we are going to discuss in the future, we have to do this specific step. So I will write pip install, conda create. I'm creating an environment. So let me just not open in PowerShell. Instead, I'll go and open in command prompt. Okay. So here I will just write conda create -p venv Python double equal to 3.9. So 3.9 is the version that I'm going to specifically use, and I'm also going to give -y so that it does not ask me for the permission and instead start creating this specific environment. The reason why I'm using this environment, understand one thing, that guys, for every project that we probably create, we have to create a new environment. That actually helps us to just understand or just use only those libraries that are actually required for this particular project. Okay, so this is the first step. Go ahead, do it with me, and do it in VS Code, because VS Code is a good idea. If you want to do it in PyCharm, then also you can do it. But since you're following this tutorial, I'm actually going to do it in VS Code. I feel VS Code is good. I've used both. Okay, I've used different IDs, but I feel VS Code is good. Okay, so here it is. Now here you can probably see my venv environment. The next thing, we will go ahead and activate this venv environment. So I will write conda activate venv dash. Okay, so this is my first step done. I'm good with it. Now the next thing what I will go to do is that I will just go ahead and write my requirement.txt, right? Because we need to install the libraries inside this particular venv environment. So I will go ahead and write all the list of libraries that I'm specifically going to use. Now what are libraries I'm going to use over here? We will just write it down so that the first library that I'm going to use is LangChain, then OpenAI, and I think I'll be using Huggingface also later on. It is also called as Huggingface Hub. That I will show you as we go ahead. Okay, so these are the two libraries that I'm going to specifically use. Okay, now the next thing what I will do, I will go ahead and write pip install -r. Okay, so let me just hide my face so that you'll be able to see pip install -r requirement.txt. So once this installation will take place, that basically means my requirement.txt is getting installed. That basically means all the libraries that I actually require over here, that is getting installed. And for this, I require LangChain and OpenAI. Okay, so once this installation will be taken place, like it will be done. Now one more library I'll be required is called as IPyKernel, because if I really want to run any Jupyter notebook over here, I have to use that. Okay, so let's wait and let's see once the installation is probably done, and then we will continue the video. So guys, all the libraries that were present in the requirement.txt has been installed. Now the next step that I'm probably going to do is also install IPyKernel, which will be required to run my Jupyter notebook. So I will go ahead and write pip install IPyKernel. Now understand one thing, I'm not writing this library in requirement.txt because when we do the deployment in the cloud, IPyKernel will not be required. Okay, so that is the reason I'm installing separately pip install IPyKernel in the same venv environment, because venv environment also we are not going to push it, right? So you can probably see over here downloading this will happen, and automatically the download will happen itself, right? Now the next thing what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write langchain.ipynb. Okay, pynb. So this will basically be my Jupyter notebook that I will specifically be using. Okay, so right now it is detecting kernel. Once this installation will probably happen, and then we will also be able to see the kernel. Okay, so this is all the steps, all the basic steps that you probably require. From this, you can start creating end-to-end project, but at least you require this. Along with this, I'm also going to add two more steps. One is about environment files, .env file. Okay, so here what I will do, I will write .env file. Okay. Inside this env file, the reason why I'm writing this env file, because I need to probably use my OpenAPI key and probably mention the OpenAPI key over here. So if I probably write it like this, and whatever API key that I'm probably getting from the website, I can upload it over here, and using right, load environment function, right? We can load this API key as a variable so that we can actually call our API key over there. So I will update this later on as we go ahead. Okay, so till here everything is done. This is my LangChain IPynb file. I will go ahead and detect the environment. This is what 3.9.0. So here it is. So let's see whether it is working or not. 1 plus 1, it's working, right? So this is perfectly all right. So everything over here is done with respect to this, and I'm very much happy this is working, which is really, really good. Okay, so this is done. Now what I am actually going to do over here is that we need to import some of the important libraries like OpenAI and all, right? So for this, I will go ahead and write from LangChain dot LLMs, okay, import OpenAI. See, there are a lot many models like Open LLMs and all. First, we'll start with OpenAI. Understand one thing, guys. The reason why I say this is completely practical oriented, because you need to have the basic knowledge of machine learning, deep learning and all, but this specific libraries is used to build application, fine-tune your application with respect to models, with respect to your own data set. Most of the things just with writing proper lines of code will be implemented in an easier way. So you really need to focus on things, how things are basically done. Okay. Now the next thing what I will do, I will write import OS and I will say OS dot environment. Okay. And here I will give my open underscore API underscore key. Okay. This is how you should basically write it down to import the API key. Now what I will do, I will keep this hidden from you. So just imagine I cannot show you the API key because I will be using my own personal API key itself. So I will go ahead and probably pause my video and update the API key and I'll remove this specific code. Okay. That is what I'm actually going to do so that none of you basically sees that. And it is important, you have to use your own API key. So let me quickly go ahead and do that and let me come back. So guys, this is how you have to probably import your API key. I've made some changes. So if you also copy, it is not going to work. I made some internal changes in between changes. So you just need to write os.environment open API key and this API key that you have specifically got. Okay. So this is the initial step. I have also imported OpenAI so that I will be able to call this particular OpenAI itself. Now this is done. This is good. Everything is working absolutely fine. Now what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to create my LLM model and go ahead and write my OpenAI. Let's see, OpenAI function is the called or not. Let's see. Okay, OpenAI from LangChain, OpenAI, and inside this OpenAI, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to basically call a variable which is called as temperature. And temperature right now, you can keep the value between 0 to 1. The more the value towards 1, the more different kind of creative answers you may get, right? If the value is towards 0, then what kind of output you are probably getting from the LLM models, it is going to be almost same from the anytime you probably execute. So here I'm just going to keep it as 0.6. So this is basically my OpenAI LLM model. Okay. Now this is done. My LLM model is there. So here you can see did not find an OpenAI key. Please add an environment variable OpenAI key. Now this is the error that you are specifically getting, right? So why this particular error is probably coming, you should definitely understand. Okay. Without this, understand that this kind of errors can come to you. The reason why I will not edit this particular error, because I really want you all to understand. It is saying did not find OpenAI key. Now what you can probably do with respect to this, okay, there are two different things that you can probably do. Either you can take this API key, save it in a constant variable and try to use that particular variable over here, right? So for that also, you can directly do that. I've also created this .env file. What you can do, you can load this environment variable and probably directly read it over there, right? But let me just go ahead with a simple way, so you will be able to understand with respect to that also. So here what I'm going to do, here I will go ahead and probably say open API key. And here I will go to write os.environment. Okay. And here I'm going to define my open API key. Okay. Now let's see whether this will get executed or not. I will show you much more better ways when we are probably executing our end-to-end application. So let me go ahead. OpenAI key is not defined because I use double equal to. Perfect. Now you can see that it has got executed perfectly. Now, when I am actually creating an end-to-end project, I will show you a better way, the most efficient way that we should specifically use when we are building an end-to-end project. But right now I'll go to focus like this. Now understand one thing is that with respect to temperature variable, right? The temperature that we have specifically used, I will give a comment over here and you can probably see over here, right? So temperature value, how creative we want our model to be. 0 means temperature, it means model is very safe, it is not taking any bets, it will risk, it might generate wrong output, it may be creative. So more the value towards 1, the more creative the model becomes, right? It is going to take more risk to provide you some more better. But again, with respect to risk, again, there may be a problem. You may get a wrong output. Perfect. This is the simple step that we have done. At the end, in this video only, I'm going to probably create an end-to-end project. I understand this will be very important for everyone because as we go ahead in the next videos, the project difficulty will keep on increasing. Okay. Now this is done. Now what I will do quickly, I will go ahead and write text. Let's say the text is, what is the capital of India? Okay. So here I will write print LLM dot predict, and here I'm going to basically write my text. So here you can see the capital of India is New Delhi. So here what I have done is that this is my input. And if we use LLM.predict, I'm going to probably get the text. So if you are liking this video till here, guys, as I'm teaching you step by step, I'm explaining you each and everything, please make sure that you practice in a better way, right? If you like it, please make sure that you subscribe the channel also. Okay. So this is done, LLM.predict, and we are able to probably get the output. Okay. So understand what all things we did. We created an OpenAI model, right? But here in the OpenAI, right, you should also understand one important thing. Here there is a parameter which is called as model. Now what all model you can probably bring it over here. What all model you can probably call. So here I will go to my documentation page. Okay. And if I probably click on the models, now here are the set of models that you can probably use. By default, it is calling this GPT 3.5 Turbo. It is the most capable GPT 3.5 model and optimized for a chat at the 1/10 the cost of a DaVinci 003. Will be updated with our latest model iteration 2 weeks after it is released. It's not like you only have to use this. You can use this, you can use this, you can use this, you can use this. Whatever models you want, you can probably use it. If you want to probably go with GPT-4, you can use this, you can use this, you can use this. But at the end of the day, GPT-4 is the most amazing thing. It is more capable than GPT 3.5. So this is what models is. By default over there, it is probably taking this specific model, which you can probably use it. Now, as we go ahead, it is not like you can only call this model itself. In Hugging Face, you have open source models also, right? From Google, from different companies, you have that open source LLM models. You can also call that. And I will also show you an example with respect to that. Okay. So till here, I hope you have understood it. I think you should give a thumbs up if you are able to understand till here. Now let's go ahead and do one more thing. I will also show you with respect to Hugging Face now. Okay. Now with respect to Hugging Face, what I will do, I will quickly go ahead and write Hugging Face _ hub, right? I will probably install this library. Now let me go ahead and open my terminal. Okay. So I will delete this and quickly we will go ahead and write pip install and it's our requirement.txt. Done. So this is getting executed, and then I will probably show you with respect to Hugging Face also. So Hugging Face, this is done. Okay, the installation is done. So you have to use Hugging Face hub. Now in case of Hugging Face also, right, you will specifically get you will also be getting because at the end of the day, we'll also try to deploy it over here. If you go to settings, right, and if you go to access tokens, here you can probably see I have some kind of token, right? And with the help of this particular token only, you will be able to call any models that are available over here. So in this models, if you probably go ahead and see, there are a lot of LLM models that are available, right? So if you probably go over here, natural language, token classification, question answer, like let's say text to text generation. This is basically one kind of LLM model. I will search for one name. Okay, so the name is Flan. Okay, Flan T5 base. Okay, so this specific model, T5 large, this is a text to text generation model, right? So this is also an LLM model. If I want, I can use this also. Why I can use this? Because this is an open source. Okay, if you want to probably see the answer, right, text to text generation, false or not, false or false is, if I want to compute it, right, it'll give me some specific output. Okay, false or false is the verb, right? Something like this. It is getting an output, right? So I can also create my chat models with the help of this kind of models directly by using this API, right? But how to do it? Let's go ahead and see it. Okay, so here what I will do quickly, I will first of all import one more important thing again in my environment variable, os.environment. And here I'm going to basically write, in the case of Huggingface, I have to use something called as I have to write in capital letter, Huggingface hub underscore API underscore token. Okay, so here is my token. Okay, Huggingface hub underscore API underscore token. Now with respect to this particular token, I have to write my own token. The token is basically given over here, as I've already shown you. If I probably click on show, you'll also be able to see it. So I'm not going to do the show part over here. So what I will do, I will just pause the video, upload it, execute it, change the token, and then come back to you. Okay, so let's go ahead. Till then, you can go ahead and create your Huggingface account also. So guys, now I have set up my Huggingface hub API token with this specific token. Again, I've made the changes. So if you probably use this again, it will not work. Okay, but I have actually imported it. Now let's go ahead and probably see how we can probably call LLM models with the help of Huggingface. So again, I will be using LangChain. LangChain is just like a wrapper. It can call OpenAI LLM models. It can call Huggingface LLM models. Anything you can probably call with it. Okay, so that is the reason why I'm saying it is powerful. So I will write from LangChain. Okay, import Huggingface hub. Okay, and then here I'm going to probably define my, let me just execute it, and then probably I will call it. So here I will go and write Huggingface hub. Here first of all I need to give my repo ID. Now repo ID is nothing but whenever you search for any model, this will be your repo ID. Okay, Google/this. Okay, so here I'm going to probably go ahead and define it. Okay, and this will basically be given in a sentence form. Okay, so this is done. Now the next thing that I will have is model quarks. Okay, and here I will go ahead and define my temperature. And then here I'll go ahead and write max length colon 64. That basically means I'm giving the maximum string length to 64. Okay, now let's see whether this will execute or not. I know it is going to give us an error. Let's see. So it is not giving you an error. It is probably executing it perfectly. It has probably taken that particular key itself. Inference API is working perfectly. Everything is working. So I will go ahead and define my variable. So here I'm going to basically write my LLM underscore Huggingface. Okay, is equal to this one, right? So this is done. We have probably written this specific thing over here, and then I will go ahead and write name, or I will see output. Let's see the output, and here I'm going to basically write llm.huggingface.predict, and let's say I'll say, can you tell me the capital of Russia? Okay, so let's see whether we will be able to get the output or not. So here I'm going to write print output, and let's see whether we are going. So here you can see the output is a simple word, right? The capital of Russia is Moscow, right? But here, the previous output that we saw with respect to the LLM models, here it shows that capital of India is New Delhi. It is giving you an entire sentence. And probably here it is just giving you a word. And this is what the difference is with respect to an open source model itself and models like GPT 3.5 or 4, right? So here you can probably see this, okay? And I will also execute one more thing over here. Let's say, can you write a poem? Can you write a poem about AI? Let's say I give this, what kind of poem it gives, okay? It'll probably taking time to probably give the, I love the way I look at the world. I love the way I feel, the way I think I feel. I love the way I love. See what kind of output you're specifically getting, right? Now, if I probably give this same output and probably write LLM, okay, dot predict, LLM dot predict. And if I probably give the same sentence, let's see what is the output. Now you will be able to understand why we are specifically using this. Let's see. It should give you a better output, I think. I love the way I look at the world. Oh, so mysterious, vast, so curious. Its technology so advanced, its evolution so enhanced. It's a tool that can assist in making life much less hectic. A force that can be used for good or a cause that's misunderstood. It can make decisions so swift and learn from the mistakes so swift. Tool that can be better. See, so what an amazing poem it has basically written. And by this, you'll be able to understand the differences why I'm specifically using this OpenAI model and with respect to Huggingface. Yes, there are also some models which you can probably take paid one in Huggingface that will give you better output. But this is what happens with respect to open source models. I think we should, we have a lot of open source models that are probably coming up, Mistral 7B and all. That also we'll be seeing in this playlist as we go ahead. But as I said, this is just a basic thing to probably understand. We will be focusing on understanding these things, right? So here, till here, I hope we have discussed so many things, how to probably call OpenAI models with respect to OpenAI library API itself, and then Hugging Face API also LLM models, right? And using LangChain. So here, what all things we have done. Now, the next thing that we are probably going to discuss is about prompt templates. Prompt template is super amazing. It will be very, very handy when we are talking about things with respect to prompt template and all. So that also we are going to discuss as we go ahead. So guys, now let's go ahead and discuss about prompt templates, which is again a very handy component in the LangChain, even in OpenAI. With the help of prompt templates, you will be able to get efficient answers from the LLM models itself, right? I'm not talking about prompt engineering that can get you 3 crore package. Okay, I'm just talking about a simple prompt templates and how prompt templates can be probably used. Okay, now let's go ahead and first of all import from LangChain. From LangChain.prompts, import prompt template. Okay. What we are going to do is that whenever we call a specific LLM model, the LLM model should know what kind of input it is probably expecting from the client or from the end user and what kind of output it should probably give it. Okay. So what we do, if you want to really define how our input should be and how our output should be, we can specifically use prompt template. Because understand, if we directly use GPT 3.5, it can be used for various purposes, right? But here I want to restrict all those things within something, right? So with respect to the input and the output. So here I'm going to probably define my prompt template. So let me go ahead and define my prompt template. Now with respect to the prompt template here, first thing that we need to define is our input variables. So here I will go ahead and write my input variables. Okay. Now in input variables, we need to first of all say that what input we are specifically giving. There will be a fixed template. In that template, I really need to give my input. Okay. So let's say here I define my input and here I'm just using one input. Let's say the capital or the country. I'm just going to write it as country. Okay, so this is my first parameter that I'm going to probably give in my template itself. And this I will also store it in my variable, which is called as prompt template. Okay, great. Now here I'm given country as my input variable. Okay, here I will define my template. Now inside this template, what I'm going to say is that tell me the capital capital of this whatever template that I'm specifically giving, that is country. So this is just like my variable. Whenever I give the input to this variable, it is going to replace it over here, right? So what will happen by this is that the OpenAI will be able to understand, okay, this is the question that is asked, but this value is dynamic, that I'm probably giving it during the runtime, something like that. Okay. Now here, if I would only want to execute this again, I can also write prompt underscore template. Okay, prompt underscore template dot format, right? So there is a function called as dot format. And here now, instead of how should I give my input? So here I will say country is equal to, right? Whatever the variable name is, country is equal to, let's say India. Okay. Now here you can see that my entire prompt is generated in this way, saying that tell me the capital of India. Okay. So here you can probably see, tell me the capital of India, right? Now, if I want to probably predict, I will write LLM.predict. Okay. And here I will just say prompt template is equal to whatever my prompt template is defined. So here I'm getting an error. Predict missing one required positional argument text. Now inside this, I've given this prompt template, but it is expecting one text, right? What is that particular text? That is this particular value, right? So here, what I will do, I will go ahead and define my second variable text, and here I will write it as India. Let's see whether it will get executed. Still, it is giving me an error. So guys, now you can see when I'm using this LLM.predict and I've given my prompt template, I've given my text also. That was the error that was coming. But still it is giving me an error saying that the prompt is expected to be a string, instead found class list, this. If you want to run the LLM on multiple prompts, use generate instead. Okay, something like this. I will show you a way, because that is the reason I'm keeping this error over here. There is a simple way of understanding things, right? Because this is not the right way to call prompt template along with the inputs itself. So what I'm going to do quickly, I will go ahead and import one important thing that is called as chains. So I will say from LangChain dot chains import LLMChain. Understand one thing, guys. Chain basically means combine multiple things and then probably execute. I have my LLM model, I have my prompt, I know I have to give my input. Based on that input, I need to probably get the output. So instead of executing directly by using LLM.predict, I'm going to use LLMChain, and inside that, I'm going to give my LLM model, I'm going to give the prompt template, and I'm also going to give the input. So this is what we are specifically going to do. Now this will got executed from LangChain.chain import LLMChain. Now I'm going to create my chain. Let's say the chain is equal to LLMChain. And here I'm going to basically write LLM is equal to LLM. Okay, whatever is my LLM model, and my prompt is equal to my prompt template. Okay. Now this is there. This is my chain. Now chain, what it is doing, it is combining the LLM model. It knows what is the prompt template, right? I'm going to use both of them. And now in order to run it, so I will write chain.run, and here I will say India. Let's say I'm going to probably say India, and I know what is the output it is going to get. Tell me the capital of India. So if I write chain.run, it is definitely going to give me the output. The capital of India is New Delhi. This is perfect, right? So I can also probably print it, right? See guys, I'm not going to delete any of the errors. I want you all to see the errors and then try to understand. That is the best way of learning things, okay? Other than this, there is no other way, right? You need to find a way to learn things. You don't worry about any errors that are probably coming up. You just worry about, okay, fine, you have got that error. How you can probably fix that? What is the alternate way of probably fixing it, right? So you can probably use all these techniques as we go ahead, right? So this is with respect to prompt template. And here I'm going to also talk about and LLMChain, right? So these are some important things, because all these things we will probably be using in creating our end-to-end application. Now let's go ahead and probably discuss some more examples with respect to LLM. So guys, now we are understanding one more important topic, which is called as combining multiple chains using simple sequential chain. Till here, we have understood about LLMChain. LLMChain was able to combine an LLM model along with the prompt template, through which we can also give our input and get our specific output. Now, if I have multiple chain, let's say if I'm giving one input, I want to use those input in both the chain or 3 chains, 4 chains. How can I specifically do it? And for that, I'm going to probably use simple sequential chain. Okay, so let us go ahead and let us probably see how this can probably be done. So first of all, I will probably say capital template or prompt, capital prompt. Okay, so first, like, what is the capital of this specific country, right? So this will basically be my prompt. So here I'm going to use my prompt template, and here I'm going to basically use input variables is equal to, and here I'm going to basically say country. Let's go to the next input. The next input will basically be template, and here I will say I want please tell me the capital of the whatever input I'm specifically giving away as country. So this becomes my first template, right? And what I will do, I will create a chain. The chain name will be capital underscore chain. Okay, and here I'm going to probably use my LLMChain, and my LLM model will be LLM. Okay, and then I will also be using my prompt template is equal to as capital template. Okay, so this is done. Let's see capital prompt. Where is capital prompt? Oh, sorry, capital prompt. Capital prompt is not defined. Why? Please tell me the capital of this template. Oh, double equal to. That's it. No worries. 2 validation error for LLMChain. So first, I've used an LLMChain where prompt template is equal to this, where it is capital prompt. So guys, after just checking the documentation, this should be prompt itself, okay, because in LLMChain we have used prompt, and here is capital template. Here also I'm going to probably use capital template. Now, if I execute this, this works absolutely fine. One thing you can probably see over here that I've given my template name, and then I've also given the capital chain, right? So if I want to probably execute it, I can just give my chain.run and that particular parameter. Okay. But now what I want is that I also want to create one more prompt template. I want to give the same input to that chain also. So here, let's say I will write famous underscore template, and I will just say prompt template. And here again, my input variable. What is my input variable? So my input variable will be whatever specific things that I'm trying to give, right? Let's say, please tell me the capital of India. If I say, right, the capital, whatever capital I'm going to get, that variable only I'm going to pass it over here. So my input variable will basically be my capital. Okay. And this will be my second one. And here I'm going to probably say just template, and I'm going to probably ask a question. Suggest me some amazing things, some amazing places to visit in that specific capital. Okay, so this is what I'm probably telling, right? Please tell me the capital of the country. So I will have that capital information. That will be my input variable from this particular template. In that specific chain. Okay, so I will get 2 answers. First of all, I'll get the capital of that particular country, and then what are some amazing places to visit in that specific capital place. Okay, so these are all the information that I've put up. Okay, so I hope this also works fine. Now, what I'm going to create, I'm going to create another chain, which will be for this particular famous chain, right? So here I will write famous chain, okay, is equal to, and I'm going to probably use my LLMChain. LLMChain, and here I'm going to give my LLM models, but the second one, that is my prompt, is equal to whatever template that I'm probably going to give, the famous template. Okay, so this is what I'm probably going to do, and I've probably given this prompt also over there, and this will basically be my chain. So once I probably execute it, both the chains are ready. Now I need to give one input, it should go to one chain, get the output from that particular chain and pass that output to the next chain. Okay, so this is what I specifically want to do. How can I do it? So again, from LangChain dot chains, I'm going to import simple sequential chain. I know guys, here you may be thinking why I have to use this. See, you're passing one input to get the other output from the one chain and pass that particular output to the other chain to get the just output itself, right? So this is quite amazing. When you see an end-to-end application, there you'll be able to understand. These are some of the important components you should definitely know and try to understand. Okay, so here finally what I'm going to do is that I'm going to probably create my chain is equal to, and this will be my final chain, and here I will probably say I'll import this. Okay, so I get that. So chain is equal to simple sequential chain, capital letter, simple sequential chain, and inside this simple sequential chain I just have to name all my chains, what all chains are specifically there in the form of list. So the first chain that I have over here is nothing but capital chain. The second chain that I have is something called as famous chain. Okay, so both the chains are ready. Now in order to run it, all I have to do is write chain.run, and here I'll specifically give India. Okay, done. Let's see what kind of output I will probably get. So it is running. It is a bustling metro police and a great place to visit for historical site, cultural this Red Fort. See, most popular city. The iconic monument is a multi-visit. Who fought in World War I. The 16th century Mughal era tomb in UNESCO World Heritage Site. Everything it is probably giving us, right? So it did not give us the first answer with respect to the chain because it only provides the last input information. Okay. If you want to probably display the entire chain, I will show you a way how to do that. For that, we have to use buffer memory. There will be something called as buffer memory. But one amazing thing, I gave one input, I got the output, and then probably I pass that particular output to my next chain, and I am able to get one amazing answer over here. So definitely try it out from your side by using different examples also. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to probably discuss one very important component about chat model OpenAI. So that is also super important. That is something related to chat models. Whenever you probably want to create a chat models, you can have to use that. Okay, so let's have a look onto that. So guys, one more additional thing that let's say I want to probably see the entire chain. So here we will specifically use something called as sequential chain. And let me just show you one example of that also. It is not much to do with respect to that, but you should definitely know this. Important video, as said, again, I don't want to probably take more time with respect to this, but it is good to know this. Okay, sometime when you're developing things, and that you will probably be understanding once I start end-to-end project, right? Today, one end-to-end project will be done. Okay, don't worry about this. In this particular video, it will be done. But definitely, I want to show this example also as we go ahead. Now, let's quickly go ahead and do the same thing. I will copy this entirely. Okay, I will paste it over here. Okay. Now, along with LLM prompt template, I will give my output key also. So where I specifically want my output key. So the output key will be nothing but it will be something called as capital. Okay. So this is my capital chain with this specific output. Okay. So here I have created this. Now let's go ahead and probably create the next template. That is this famous template. Okay. So here also you can probably see the famous template, suggest me some names of the capital, and here I've probably created my template name and my chain is over here, right? So this will basically be my chain. Okay. So the same name, whatever output key is over here, I've given this as my input key. And here I can also derive one output key like this, output key places, something like this. Okay. So done. This is done. See, two simple templates that I've actually created. Suggest me some amazing places to visit in this particular capital. The capital is probably given from here. So now the chain will probably be able to understand each and everything as we go ahead, you know, where the output is and all, right? So here now what I'm going to do, I'm going to probably import from LangChain dot chains, import sequential chain. Okay. And then finally you can see I'll write chain is equal to simple. Okay, let me just execute this because it is not giving me any suggestion. So I will write chain is equal to sequential chain, and now I'll give all my chains name. So the first chain name is capital chain, da-dung, famous chain, da-dung. Okay, and after this you will basically be able to understand the input variables. Now the input variables that we specifically have, input variables is nothing but whatever is my variable name. What is the variable name in this case? It is nothing but country. Okay, and then my output variable, I'll also create my output underscore variables. So these are the two parameters. See guys, this parameters is nothing but whatever parameters I'm specifically giving. One is the capital and one is the places. Done. So this is my entire chain. Now if I want to run any chain, what I will do, I'll basically write something like this and give what is my country name, right? So it should be given in the form of key value pairs. So here is my country colon India, right? Something like this. Now if I execute it, I will now be able to see my entire chain, right? It will take some time. So what I have done over here, I have in every LLM chain that I'm probably creating, I'm creating an output key. Two chains, so two output key, and here you can see chain country India, country was India, capital, the capital of India is New Delhi. Here are some amazing places to visit in New Delhi, and all the information I have probably over here. Now let's go ahead and discuss chat models, specifically in LangChain, and we are also going to use one library which is called as Chatopenai. This is also very good if you want to probably create a conversational chat bot itself. So in chat models with Chatopenai, first of all, what we will do is that we will go ahead and import LangChain dot chat underscore models, and I'm going to probably import Chatopenai. So we will quickly go ahead and import it. Now, after I specifically import this in Chatopenai, there are three schemas that you really need to understand. Okay, whenever a conversation basically happens, if a human is probably giving some kind of input and expecting some response, that basically becomes a human message, right? If by default, when your chatbot is probably opening, a default message will probably come, right? And that is something related to domain, like what that specific chatbot does, right? So it can probably come up with a new schema which is called a system message. And then there is also one more message which is called as AI message, which is again a schema which probably gives the output, right? Whatever the chatbot is giving an output, the AI, whatever models is specifically giving the output, that is nothing but that is related to the schema that is called as AI message. Okay. Now from this here, what we are going to do, we are going to import from LangChain dot schema. I'm going to import human message, system message, right? As I said, system message is also required, and AI message. Here, everything you'll be able to get this as an example, because probably in the upcoming videos, we'll create conversational chatbot, right? At that point of time, we will be seeing all these things, what we will be using and how we will be using. Okay. So here quickly we'll import this. Now, obviously my LLM model is there, right? And while creating before the LLM models, how did we use it? We basically used something called as OpenAI, right? We used OpenAI. Now in this case, I will probably copy the same thing. Okay. And I will just paste it over here and write chat LLM. Okay. And instead of writing OpenAI, I'll use chat OpenAI, right? So this is what I'm specifically going to use, chat OpenAI with some temperature in this. And here I'm also going to give one model. So let me go ahead and write my model name. The model name that we are going to basically write from here is GPT 3.5-10. turbo, right? I had showed you like what all models we can specifically use. So this is my chat LLM model. So here, if I probably go ahead and write my chat LLM, so here you'll be able to see that it is on Chatopenai, and with all the information with so temperature, what is the this and all. OpenAI key I cannot show you, so it shows you the OpenAI key also over here. So I'm just going to remove this, okay, so that you don't find the OpenAI key. Now let's use this 3 schema and then probably see how my output will look like. Let's say, first of all, I'll create the schema in the form of list. Okay. First of all, the system message, right? Let's say system message. I will go ahead and initialize and I'll write a content. Content, one variable is there. I will say you are a comedian AI assistant. Okay. So this is what I'm telling the chatbot to behave like, right? It is basically acting like a comedian AI assistant. Okay. Then in the next one, I will say human message. And here again, I will go ahead and write the content. And I will say, please. And this is what I will probably write as a human. This is what the input that I am probably giving, right? So I will say, please make a comedy about, or please provide some punchlines, some comedy punchlines on, okay, AI. Okay. So here you can probably see, these are my 2 things. These are the 2 information that I'm going to give to my chat LLM models, right? And then let's see what is the output, okay, with respect to that. Now, in order to give this input to my chat LLM, so I will write chat LLM and here only I will open my brackets. So it has 2 information. First, by default, it knows the system is a comedian AI assistant. And here as a human input, what we are saying is that we are saying, please provide some comedy punchlines on AI. Okay. So if I execute this, you will be able to see, I will be able to get an output. Now, this is how we are going to design later on in the end-to-end project. We are not going to give this as a hard coded. It will be quite dynamic. So here you can see AI message. See, this is the output. If I'm getting the output, that basically becomes an AI message. So this schema that we are able to see from the output of this particular chatbot, the system message is basically telling that, okay, beforehand, you have to act something like that. We are instructing the chatbot to probably act in that way, right? The human message is basically our input and AI message is what is the output. So AI may be smart, but it can tell me if your output makes look like a potato. AI is a virtual therapist, except it never judges you for eating an entire pizza by yourself. Something like this. So this is what comedy messages you can probably see, right? And I think this is quite amazing. And you can probably set this up any number of times, right? You can probably say, you can add this AI message over here and you can still build more conversational AI, right? So as AI also give the message, you can probably store it inside this itself. Let's say if I probably consider a list and I append this particular list with all this information, it can act as a chat model as we go ahead, right? Now guys, we are also going to discuss about one topic and after this, we are going to implement our project, okay? So over here, we are going to discuss about prompt template plus LLM plus output parser. Now, first of all, we'll try to understand what exactly is output parser. Now, in order to make you understand about our output parser and how we can probably implement it, I will use LangChain again for this. As said, guys, LangChain is a powerful library. It has everything as a wrapper, right? So I will say from LangChain, okay, from LangChain dot chat underscore models. First of all, I'm going to import Chatopenai. Okay. Chatopenai. See, there's so many things. Chat Vertex AI, Chatopenai. Very powerful. And the way it is getting developed, right? Quite amazing, right? So from LangChain dot prompts, I'm also going to use some prompts and like how we have a prompt template when we use OpenAI, right? Similarly, in Chatopenai, we use prompts, which is basically called as chat prompt template. Okay. So I'm going to basically import chat prompt value, template, chat prompt template. So I'm also going to import this. Along with this, as I said, output parser, right? Output parser is that if I want to modify any output of an LLM model beforehand, right? So I can specifically use output parsers. So for LangChain, I will also import this from LangChain dot schema import base output parser, right? So these are the three things I'm specifically importing. And here I'll basically go ahead and write class. Let's say I am defining one output parser and I'll define this in the form of class. It'll inherit the base output class. So let's say I will say comma separated output. Okay. That basically means it is basically called as a comma separated output. This is the class that I'm going to define. And even in the documentation, it is given in an amazing way. Okay. So comma separated output, and this will basically be inheriting the base output parser. Okay. Now inheriting, when I probably inherit, right, that basically means we are inheriting this base output parser, and we can call this along with an LLM models. Here I will define a parse method, and inside this parse I will take self as one keyword, and whatever text, the output that we are specifically getting, which will be in the form of string format, all we'll do, we'll just write return text dot strip dot split, right? And this will be a comma separated split. Understand one thing. Now this is what is the class that I've defined, and this is just like an output parser. By default, the output parser is what you can probably see whenever I'm specifically using the chat models. I'm getting some kind of output, right? AI may be smart, something. It is giving in the form of sentence, and it is adding a new line at the end. But what I'm saying is that whatever output I'm getting, I will take that output and divide all the words in comma separated. Okay, something like that. So for this, again, I will define my template. I will say you are a helpful assistant. Okay, so this is my first message that is probably going as a template, right? So this becomes a system template, the schema that we probably discussed, right? I will also give some information. Let's say when the user gives any input, okay, you should generate 5 words, okay, in a comma separated list. So this is what is my entire message, okay, the template. I'm saying that whenever the user give any input, you have to probably generate 5 words which should be comma separated. Okay, so this is what I have specifically done. Okay, now what will be the input, what will be the text, will define all those things. Okay, and here I will say this will be my human template. So what is the word that I'm going to probably give over here, that will specifically define over here, right? So here I will say, okay, test, you should generate 5 words synonym. Let's say synonym. I'll just go ahead and write synonyms. Okay, synonyms in comma separated. So here will basically be my text, whatever text I'm specifically giving. Now I will go ahead and create my chat prompt. Now again, for this chat prompt, what I have to use, I've already used chat prompt template. Okay, and inside this I will say dot from message. Let's see that chat prompt template from underscore messages. Okay, now inside this from underscore messages, I have to give 2 information. Okay, whatever is the template, right? So first template is nothing but the system one. So system information that I really want to give, that system one is nothing but this normal template that I've defined. And the second one will basically be my human template, right? Whatever human message that I'm actually giving, right? And this will basically be defined as human underscore template, right? So once I execute it, here you will be able to see this is my chat prompt. Okay. Now, in order to execute this, obviously I have to use chain, right? Because I have a prompt template over here, I have a human text, I have this specific template also. So how do I probably combine all these things? That is what I'm actually going to show you over here. So quickly, first of all, I will use this chat LLM. Okay, chat LLM. Now see, this is quite amazing, and this is the best way of running chains. So I will say chain is equal to whatever is my chat prompt. So this is my chat prompt. To this chat prompt, I will give my API. Whatever API I'll write over here, Control V. So I have to just give a or sign kind of thing, right? So this is getting chained up. This symbol basically says that it is getting chained up. And remember the order also, okay? Or you can also initialize Chatopenai over here. Now, along with this, I will also give my output parser. The output parser will be the last one, right? So this will basically be my output parser, comma separated output, okay? Now see, I've given each and everything over here, one by one, list by list, right? So here it is. So once I probably execute it, it will get executed. So here what it is saying, I'm giving this chat prompt, the chat LLM model is there, and the output should be comma separated output, which is getting derived from this particular class, okay? Now here, finally, what I will do, I will write chain.invoke. And inside this, I will again, whenever I use chain, I have to probably give it in a key value pair, right? Colon something, whatever the value is. Now in this case, I will say the word is intelligent, let's say. Now I have to probably give it in the form of text, so, right? So that is what I really have to give it, right? So this text is equal to intelligent. Now let's see what is the output. It is coming as, okay, there is some syntax issue that I have probably made because I have to close my dictionary over here. Now, if I write chain.invoke, you can see that 5 words: smart, clever, brilliant, sharp, astute. I don't know the specific word, but here you will be able to see whatever output that I am probably getting, right? So if I probably remove this, let's see. Okay. This is how the output will look like. Okay. AI message content, this, right? But just by adding this output parser, you can see what an amazing message you are able to get, and you're able to get the right thing that you specifically want. This is what powerful a prompt template is all about, right? Now, this is done, right? And this is more than sufficient to know, because more new things about PDF, how to read PDF, what is text embedding and all, we will discuss as we go ahead. But now let us go ahead and try to create a simple chatbot, okay? Simple chatbot. I'll create an app.py, and by using this simple chatbot, we'll try to understand how things actually work and what all things we can basically do. Okay. Again, here I'm going to probably use Streamlit, and I'll be writing the code line by line. So let's go ahead and have a look. So guys, finally, now we are going to develop our Q&A chatbot with all the concepts that we have probably learned. I'm just not going to use all the concepts right now in this specific video itself, because we should have probably 10 to 12 projects that are going to come up in the future in this series of playlist. So there we are going to discuss about more projects as we go ahead, right? But now in this video, I'm going to probably create a simple Q&A chatbot just with the help of OpenAI, LangChain, and obviously use OpenAI APIs and LLM models specifically to do that. Here, I'm also going to use Streamlit, okay? So let's go ahead and let's see initially what all settings I need to do. See, this was langchain.ipynb, because I will be giving you this entire file again in the reference with respect to GitHub also. So first of all, in the requirement.txt, I will be importing one more library, because I need to install this library. This is the important library itself, which is python.env, right? So python-.env actually helps us to create or upload all our environment variables that we have created with respect to our application. So here, this is the library that I have to do it, and just go ahead and install the requirement.txt. I've already done that, and this will be a specific task to you. Now, we are starting over here. So from langchain.llms, I have imported OpenAI. Then from .env, load_.env. So as soon as I probably call this, it will take all the environment variables from .env file. So here I've already created the environment variable. I'm not going to show you again the environment variable, because in short, the environment variable will be something like this. See, I may have written like something like this: open _API _key is equal to this particular environment variable, right? So this is basically my open API key itself, right? So I'm going to probably use this in my application. So here, these are the basic steps that we will probably go ahead with. Now, along with this, what I'm actually going to do, I'm also going to import one more library, which is called as Streamlit, because we are going to use Streamlit itself So let me go ahead and open my terminal, and quickly let's go ahead and write pip install -r requirement.txt, and then the installation will start taking place, and the Streamlit library will also get installed. Streamlit we are specifically using for our front-end application. See, it's not like only you have to use Streamlit. It will be very much easy for me to probably create it and do the deployment, because I'm also going to show you the deployment in the Huggingface space itself, right? What is exactly Huggingface space? I will also discuss about all those things. So quickly, let's do this. It'll probably take some time, and then I will go to my app.py. Let me do one thing quickly. Let me go ahead and import Streamlit also. So I'll import Streamlit as st. Okay, so this will basically be my Streamlit itself. Okay, so it will probably take some time to download it. Let's see how much time it is going to take. But again, it depends on your internet speed and how fast your system is, right? My system is really, really fast till it is taking time. So for you, it may probably take more time. Okay, so let this installation take place. Till then, I will go ahead and start creating our application. Now, I will first of all create a function to load OpenAI model and get response. Okay, get response. So I will call this function something like definition get underscore OpenAI response. Okay, something like this. And here I'm probably going to give, since it is a Q&A chatbot, so here I will have my question as my parameter, which will be of a string type. Okay, it can be a string type, it can also be a numerical type, so I will just keep it like this. Okay, so this is done, and here you can also see the installation is done. So I will just close this. Now here, as soon as I probably call this function, what I really need to do, I need to call my LLM model. So LLM model, I will say OpenAI. Okay, OpenAI, and here I will go ahead and define my model. Have I imported OpenAI? Yes, I have imported model OpenAI itself. So I will go ahead and write model underscore name is equal to, and I will define my model. I'll be using text DaVinci. This is one of the model that we have. You can probably refer it. So text DaVinci 003, and here I'm also going to define my temperature. Temperature is equal to, let's say, 0.5. Okay. Along with this, I will just go ahead and copy one more thing. I will just set up my OpenAPI key also. So I will set it up like by using this os.environment. So here will be my first parameter. Okay, so all this is done. I think I need to also import OS. Okay, so this is done. In short, what I'm doing is that I'm initializing my LLM model, okay, in this code. Now the next thing is that I need to probably get my response. So response will be nothing but LLM directly. How do I give a question over here? I can probably give the question over here. Okay, see, I'm just creating a basic one. Then whatever things you really want to do from here, you can probably do it. Try to create your own prompt template, try to use chain if you want, try to do multiple things. But just to start with, I'm going to use a simple application where it is just taking an input and giving some kind of output. It has no AI message set, it has no human system message set, no system message set also. We have not given any prompt template also over here. This is just to give you an idea how things starts. Okay, so now we will initialize our Streamlit app. Okay, now with respect to Streamlit, I will write st dot set underscore page underscore config. So this is one of the function in Streamlit which will actually help you to set the page title. So I will just go ahead and write title is equal to, I will say Q&A demo. Okay, Q&A demo. And this is done with respect to my and here I will set my another header. The header will be something like LangChain application, something like this. Okay, so I've given my header also with respect to this. Okay, now I need to find out a way to get a user input. Okay, if I get a user input, then I should be able to submit the button and I should be able to get the text itself. So first of all, I will go ahead and create my submit button. I will say st dot button, and here I will go ahead and write generate or ask the question, something like this. Okay. If ask button is clicked, right? If it is clicked, that basically means if I write if submit, okay, if it is clicked, this usually becomes true. Okay, so if this is true, it is probably going inside this particular function, and here you will be able to see as I'll just put a header, and I'll say the response is okay, and then I will probably write st dot right with respect to the response. Okay, so this is what I am probably doing it. Okay, I'm getting the response over here, and with respect to this specific response, I will probably, this response is probably coming from here, but still, whatever is the input, that input we are not able to capture it yet, right? Because if we capture those input, then only we'll be able to send that particular input somewhere, right? And for that also, I may have to probably create another function. So let's go ahead and handle the input part now. So guys, now what I am actually going to do over here is that, first of all, we'll go ahead and capture our input text. So let me go ahead and write over here, input is equal to st dot text underscore input, because I'm going to use a text field over there. And here I will probably be waiting for the response itself, right? So sorry, from the request, right? So here I will write input colon, okay, and I'll keep a space over here, and I will just write key is equal to input, something like this. So this will basically be my input itself. Okay, now once I've done this, I'm going to take this particular input and now call, I hope you should know what we should call. We should basically call this function, right? So this here, I'm going to probably write, not here itself. So let me just write it over here. And this input, I'm actually giving it over here. Okay. So this will basically be my input over here. Whatever input I'm probably getting it, I will just go ahead with respect to this particular question, and I will probably get the response. Here I will just go ahead and write return response. Okay, and then I will store this particular variable inside my response. Okay, done. See, the way I probably got the input over here, I sent this input to my get OpenAI response. My OpenAI model has got probably loaded, and then it is basically calling with respect to this LLM. You can either call predict message or predict functionality also. You can also use chain, you can use multiple things, you can assign prompt template in this particular function and all, right? And then finally you have st dot button, ask the button, and if submit, this is there. Okay, now quickly let's go ahead and probably run it. Okay, let me see whether if I directly call python app.py, it will give us an error. Why? Because this is a Streamlit library, right? If it was Flask, I would have probably said, okay, it would be working. Now it says key error open API key. Okay, so os.environment open API key load.env. So guys, one mistake that I have specifically done whenever I really want to call all the environment variables from .env with the help of load, this specific library that is called as this functionality, which is load underscore .env. At that point of time, I'll be using get env function. And here I will just remove all these things, brackets, and probably call this function. Now I hope so it should work, and I think we should not get any problem. So Streamlit run app.py. And here we have our entire application. Quickly, it's running. Let's see. This is getting loaded. And here we have, right now, probably I'll ask the question, what is the capital of India, right? So I'll just ask the question over here. The response is the capital of India is New Delhi. Let's say, what is generative AI, right? So I'll ask the question. You'll be able to see that generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that focuses on creating new data from existing data. This is there. And still, I'm getting some kind of weird responses over here. So that is the reason we'll also be using output parsers. We'll make sure that we'll use conversation buffer memory. We'll also implement schemas like human message system, human system, AI system, system messages, all those things were there, right? All the schemas, that part we probably discussed. But this is a simple application that we are probably going to discuss with respect to this. It is going to be quite amazing. And, this is just a basic Q&A chatbot, wherein whatever questions you specifically ask, like what is, please write a poem on please write a romantic poem. I'll just give it as romantic poem on generative AI, something like this, because many people are now using this. Ask the question. So here you can see generative AI, new love in my life. Your data-driven heart is perfect fit. Your algorithm so precise, your knowledge is so wise. So everything is over here. Now what I'm actually going to do is that I will go and show you the deployment part. Everything is working fine. I will first of all log in into the Huggingface, go to the spaces and create a new space, because I'm going to probably do the deployment over here. Let's say I will say LangChain Q&A chatbot. Okay. I don't have to use license. This will be a Streamlit. Now in space hardware, like you have paid hardwares also, but I'm probably going to use a simple one, CPU basics 2 V CPU 16 GB, and I will create this as public so that you can also refer it. Let's see. Okay, I will just remove this spaces. Please match. Okay, this underscore is not there. QA, a chatbot. I will go ahead and create the space. Now, after creating the space, there's a couple of things that I'm probably going to do over here is that this is just like a GitHub repository. If you probably go to the files, you'll be able to see it. Now here, I'm probably going to upload the file that I have. Okay. But before that, what I'm actually going to do, I'll go to my settings. Okay. And if I go down, right, so there will be something called as secret keys, because this secret key, I have to put it with respect to OpenAI. So here, no secrets are there. So I will go and click on new secret. And you know that with respect to the new secret, what I have to probably use, I have to use OpenAPI key. I will put it over here. Okay. And now, oops, just a second. OpenAPI key. Let me open this. And I will put it over here. Okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm also going to upload the value. Okay. So I'll not show you the value. Let me update this and let me come back and quickly and show you the next steps that we are probably going to do. After adding the OpenAI API key, you can see it over here in the secrets. You'll be able to see this specific key. Now what I will do after updating that, I will go to my app. Now again, my entire application will start getting built up. Now here you can see as soon as I add the OpenAI API, you'll be able to see my application will start running. Now here I can probably ask question, what is the capital of India? Okay. And you can see that I will be able to get the response. Now clearly you'll be able to see I'm been able to do the deployment in Hugging Face spaces. It was very much simple. You can see the files over here itself, only app.py, requirement.txt. I had commented out all the codes with respect to env and all, because as soon as we add the secret variable, as soon as this OpenAI model is called, it is going to take the OpenAI API key from there and it is going to use it over here. So yes, this was with respect to the deployment, and quickly we were able to also create a simple Q&A chatbot along with deployment. This was all about this in this specific video. Now from the next video itself, I'm going to increase the complexity of the project. Please understand, you really need to practice this a lot. If you practice it well, then trust me, all these things will be easy to understand. So yes, this was it from my side. I hope you like this particular video. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, press the bell notification icon, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.